Welcome to the Mental Wealth Podcast. This is the second episode. We're here with Jason Gray from Gray's Homes, and I'm here with my co-host Blair McCarg as well. Right, so Jason, Blair and myself, we all went to school together. We even went to high school together. We met about, how many years has it been since we've known each other now? About good 7-8 years. So I know, how did you first meet?
So it would be basically through high school, wasn't it? Man, so I obviously knew you through primary school, and obviously
me Blair went to primary school since knee high.
So I obviously just kind of high school. I remember you were in my higher physics class, Mr. Watton. Soccer heads Friday, man. There was not much PV is equal to NRT done there. But mate, it was class, man. Good memories and stuff. Good class of boys. Mainly all boys because it was higher physics. Just the banter was flowing and stuff.
So me and Jason, how our relationship kind of started was, we started fighting. Mind that, we started fighting. We were boxing. We were in the changing room boxing, right? And I got caught in a compromising position where he could have finished me off. I was up and so after that, you kind of get that respect, don't you? I mean, once you've had a bit of a.
We've had the same focus, but as well, so we've carried that relation on after school, because we've had sort of the entrepreneurial sort of focus.
Exactly.
Always bouncing ideas off each other.
Exactly. Even since then, we were always talking about how to make money. And I remember he used to always, every day Jason would come with a new idea like me. Do you think there's any money in this, mate? and saying there's so many ideas, and I loved that. And I was like, hi mate, let me think about it. And I would go and look at it, and we come back and talk about it. And now it's amazing to see now that we're actually working together. We're working on a deal that we'll talk a bit more about later on, but so tell us about Gray's Homes and what is it, what are you currently working on and where do you want to take it?
So Gray's Homes was basically, we had a couple buy-to-lets. After I finished university, there just wasn't much jobs in the market with COVID and stuff, and it's always been a dream of mine to sort of start up a property empire. I always wanted to do business, but didn't have passion for a lot of the stuff I'd done, but with property I always had a big passion. So when I couldn't get a job, I was sort of like, it's life, you've got to sort of mitigate, and it's like, do you know what I mean? You just sort of transverse into another lane. So I sold the buy-to-lets, and I've now got my first development and from the bank. But for tax purposes, stuff like that, I was like, right, we need to make this professional, put it as a company, and go from there. Just obviously on the tax front, you know what I mean? It also looks more professional. Definitely. So that's sort of where the idea came from. Gray's Homes, like the name, like. I've had businesses before. We've had the painting companies, we've had valeting companies, we tried an energy broking company, and it's always been Gray's something like the valeting was MG Valeting for McCarran and Gray, with another partner. The painting was the Gray's Painting. I want the name everywhere. I want it in scrap.
Did you get people bamming you up though in that? Like, did you get people going like, have you got any other colour apart from grey?
Nah, the painting one, it wasn't the best. Like, as I said, you've got to have a passion, and that's now I've learned from those mistakes. I didn't have a passion for what I was doing before, but now I've got a passion for this. So like, I'll go in and I'll sit and listen to podcasts, read books, and I just absorb it all, and like.
It's not feel like work. No, it doesn't feel like work at all. You're just enjoying it, and you lose track of it, and that's when you know that you found the right thing. For me.
Whether the other businesses, I didn't have that, so if it wasn't making money, I was like,
it's an effort you give up if you get through it. You know, if you struggle.
I always kind of think as well, like, this is just something so mad, like, because you obviously sort of touch upon the fact that you gotta have a passion for something that you're doing. There was this guy that obviously we get a kitchen done up, and there was a guy last night that came round. To just talk about like tables, and do you know like epoxy resin? Like, so this guy done like epoxy resin tables, and we were like totally blown back by it. We were like, he's like, oh, I just get this big bit of bark off of a tree and like fuse two bits together and stuff. But he's like, depending how you mix the colours and what colours you mix it with, you can get like proper translucent stuff, or you can get stuff that's like solid, like sort of crystal stuff. But the translucent stuff looks cool because see when the sun shines, like see right through it, man. But it's something that he's just sort of like, without being, he was like a handyman before COVID, and it was literally just the fact that he went from having all this work, COVID lockdown and everything, he couldn't do jobs about the house, so it was just like pressure washing, gardening and stuff like that. So he's like, I'm not making a decent buck here. He was like, I'll chance my arm and see what this epoxy resin stuff's like, and he sort of built his own sort of company based on that. So it's quite good, and like it's good when you see someone that has a right passion for it, because
Passion.
he was round there. He could have came and go and that's your whack. There's a few photos, and he's only been there for 10 minutes. He was around for like an hour and a half last night, and he properly. I said to Mum and Dad, I was like, if you're giving anyone the money to do it, give him it. Because I mean, like, he's just sort of starting up, so he's like, it's not perfect, my job. That's why that reflects it on the cost. Obviously, I do need to make a profit and stuff, but he's just sort of saying like, it's something that I like doing. He said if there's anything like that's wrong with it or the table gets defected in any way, give me a shout, and he's like, I'll sort it out for you. So I definitely think, said if you're giving your money to anyone, definitely give it to him.
And I think this goes back to what the Michelangelo's guys were saying in the last episode about because they love it, like they don't do it for the money, they just do it because they enjoy it, they love the craft.
Well, that's it. Like, every business is sort of sales, I think, right? Like you're selling yourself before you're selling the product. People are buying into you, because there's a million people out there doing property, so they're buying you, and if you've got a passion, and it normally sort of it comes through, you see it, so you're like, right, I trust him. You know, he's want to do this. He's not a one-trick pony. Like you want to do this and go off. So you're sort of like, if you've got a passion, it's easy to sell yourself. So that's basically how we started the Grace Homes up. But where we're wanting to take it right now, we've just settled on the property in Thornley, so that'll be converted into a 2-bedroom property. It was great margins. I think all in, like the purchase price, legals and the refurb will cost 140,000, but the end value is 230,000. It should be complete. It's got to be sold off plan, so it'll be sold before it's even finished. Should take about 6-7 months to the full deal's complete. So that's, you know, that's great money for, but it's not the money I'm looking for. It was just more I want to get involved. Long term, I've actually already spoke about this. It's a wee bit embarrassing, do you know what I mean? Because like the ideas are big, and I'm not there yet. But like we've managed to you see the last post I put on Facebook. I've managed to get one investor. I've got a meeting with one in Christmas, and I've said like 10,000 minimum. Just so I've not got everybody trying to put in wee bits, and I'm having
it's not really a worth the return, is it, for less than
it's not that. It's just like see, like if you invest in, I need to know what you want, your risks, where you want your money, right? Exactly. Now see if I've got 10 people in the one deal and I'm having to deal with everybody's set sort of goals, like I might have to pass up deals that I shouldn't really pass up, so I just wanted 1 or 2 per deal and then move on. So where we exactly want to take it, me and my brother, is next year we're hoping to do 2 developments. We were actually just going to buy one, but I passed it on because I think, do you know what, just learn from the mistakes this one, build good foundations, move on to the next one. So next year, probably about March time, we're going to try and get 2 developments and 2 houses for a buy, refurbish, refinance sort of strategy, just for cash flow. And we've said in years to come, when we build it up, so we've got like maybe 6 buy-to-lets, get any more specialised things like HMOs, stuff like that, sort of thing, because to diversify the risk, because our job as a business is to mitigate mitigate the risk, and that's through diversity. So HMOs, buy-to-lets, you've also got the flips, do you know what I mean? And then eventually, like you usually remember a big thing that's been for me is you remember Mr. McAllister, maths teacher. Right, he's been like one of the biggest influences in my life. Right, when I came to high school, no self-belief in myself. Like, you know, I was in all the lowest of classes, bad dyslexia, but like he showed a belief in me, and he would sit behind after school. He'd done weekend school with us, where I felt, do you know what? Because he had that belief, and then I started to do it. I was like, I can actually do this, and I'm good at it. And I ended up becoming really good at maths and that was all him, like all him. He was a grafter. The guy was a saint.
People give the school system a lot of shite, and I think especially people in business do, but. Like there is good teachers out there that can change people's lives.
100%. That's the thing. Like I even look back to like when I was in primary school, man. Like yourself, have dyslexia. Like I'm terrible at the literacy stuff. But like my grandpa, he was like grandpa and dad both like mechanical engineers. Grandpa like lectured fluid flow and heat transfer in like colleges and stuff. So he proper like took me under his wing a wee bit. So like we used to have these cards. It was like the times tables cards. So there was like 1 to 12. No, it wasn't even 1. It was like 2 to 12 because one's just a day number, you know. And it was like each there was 12 cards, and one side was like, so say you had like purple was the number 3 times table, you would have 4 and 12, and you put it up one way and he'd be like that, what is 12 divided by 3, and it'd be like 4 and stuff like that sort of thing. So he definitely like helped me out in that sort of front, because I remember like you're sort of saying, like in primary school I was kind of always looked upon as like, oh, like he's like the bottom marks class and all that, but like see, I remember like in high school when it came to like the prelims and stuff, Mr. Stewart, nobody listened in his classes, but I was like, you know what, I'll sit and I'll like do like the work and like put in the effort.
So when somebody shows belief in you, it's like sort of water on a plant, do you know what I mean? It's like a seed and it grows into something, and that's exactly what we want to do. In later years start, so like where we stay now is nice, but we've grew up in schemes as well, like we've stayed in Ardennes for a bit of time, stayed in Pollock, stuff like this, right? And 99% of the people there, good lives, right? 95 jobs, everything's fine. But there is the 1%, because it is an underdeprived area, that's maybe the mum and dad's not in a situation to sort of give them all that they need. So what we want to do eventually is start up little community centres. And basically get, even if it's 10-15 kids, right? And offer a meal, so offer like pizza and chips, right? And it won't cost much, like what you call £40 a night or something, right? Get them in and tell them if he's come in, but you need to bring your homework with he's right. You sit for an hour, you try and get like a teacher in. But see, like, if you can, you're a circumstance of your environment, right? Is what I truly believe that, right? You take your 5 friends, you're going to be, do you know what I mean? The 6, same, you're the average of your 5 friends. So, like, if I can take 10-15 kids in, and even one of them changes, let's say if one of them sits down and goes, oh, you know what, I'm good at this, I maybe want to go to uni, and like, get a 9 to 5 normal construction, nothing wrong with it, but if one changes and says, you know what, I want to go to uni and sort of change my full environment, that's worth all the money in the world.
Because then that have a knock-on effect to their pals and their family and stuff like that,
so that's what I want to do.
Definitely, I love that, because that's like, again, not talking about money here, it's about, you know, the money's a tool to do what you actually want. If you can take it back and the freedom and help people, and that's brilliant. So you touched on about where you grew up and all that, so tell us more about that, how you know, your upbringing and how you were first exposed to business and things like that.
My upbringing was brilliant. Loving mother. My mother's like the most honest person you'll find in the world. My dad, he's like, when we were growing up, we used to call him Peter Pan, right? The boy that never grew up, right? He's hilarious, right? He's got all the love in the world, like, he's just like, he's got a pure soul, and like, he showed me, Jordan, how to be men, do you know what I mean? And like, he used to have businesses and stuff, and he basically always took us to school, came back, made sure we were doing our homework, do you know what I mean? And like, one time I asked him to give up a business, because like, he was spending a lot of time away from home, but he was making a lot of money off it, and that's sort of like what pushed us as well. He came in and he was like, listen son, and this is like, no dad's got to do it, do you know what I mean, for an 8-year-old kid, just off what they're saying. This is how like good like my mum and dad showed me nothing but love, so it's a dead loving environment. He came in and says, listen, I'll give up the business, but like, I might not have something then to pass on to you in later years, so if I get up, you make me the promise that you go to university, educate yourself, and then you can do what you want, but you promise me that, because I won't maybe not have to give you if I give up this business and spend more time in the house. And he gave it up, and like, I look back at it now, I'm like, guy was crazy. I hear the money that was involved.
I never heard this, first time I've heard this. What business was it that you was doing?
It was like security companies and stuff, like basically like, they were just like, they put containers in sites, and they would have a man in it. And
construction sites?
And just making sure no one was breaking in and stuff, but he was obviously having to go out, make sure that the boys were at work, stuff. So he was never really at home, and when he is, he's sleeping during the day because it's the night time, do you know what I mean? But like, I think it's crazy. I look at him and I'm like, why would you ever give that up for like an 8-year-old kid? Come on! But that's the love that I grew up with. Like, if you ask for something, you'll get it, do you know what I mean? And like, the sort of, the effects, the knock-on effects will get told to you, and if you're still happy with it, then fine, do you know what I mean? That's what happens, so great.
I know, in the sort of sense that he's obviously working at night, so the hours that he's up, you'll be asleep, and the hours that you're up, he's asleep, so it's that kind of like aspect of it as well. He's probably thinking, well wait, I've not spending as much time with the family. Because I remember like me and my dad, we do like open water swimming and stuff, and there was one night, like I remember it was probably like July, it was like 27 odd degrees, and we got to this like white lock up at the Mearns. I don't know if you've heard of it, Jason, but we got up there with the wetsuits on, and this night me and my dad were like, you know what, just go so the trunks on, swam around the lock, and just after it, like my dad was like that, like see all the times I used to work for like Trillium Flow, like used to work like this pump and flow manufacturing company, and he was like that, like away, like China, all these mad places, like do you know what, like it's got to be up there one of the best nights. Like he's like, you could go away to these random places in business all you want midweek, but he's like, so actually just doing that, it's just been that, it's like, it was class, like he was like, I wouldn't change it for the world, you know. Definitely.
It's like for your boys, so I like what you're doing now is obviously trying to get that freedom, that financial freedom, so that when your boy grows up, you know, when he gets a bit older, you don't have to go out and do the job, like nighttime jobs, you don't have to be at work, you can spend more time with him. So is that what motivates you as well? Is that what pushes you?
I've always been entrepreneurial, right? As it, like, see what you were saying with business, like when Dick first introduced my mum's get salons, my dad's had businesses. So I've always been entrepreneurial, just cause they do, I look up and say, they do well, like how can I do it? And like when I was younger, like a funny story is like, now in the co-op they do the macaroon and tablet bars, 3 for £1. And so I used to go in, split the packet into 6, right? Put them in wee bags and sell them for £1 each, right? Oh, got the house, sell them for £1 each, right? And you think that's 6 of them, so it was £6 you were paying £1, so it was a £5 profit. I used to do stuff like that. I used to clean cars, clean doors, had paper rounds. Christmas, oh my god.
The shoveling.
Oh, I used to do the shoveling, it's no right, but what the other thing was, like, I used to buy these fake shoes off people, see the Air Max 95s?
Oh, yeah, fucking bought one of them! No, I bought a pair or something.
You had to stay in the house till New Year, you stayed in the house, right? Because you'd get them at Christmas, and I used to buy them for like 25 quid and sell them for 60, right? And they would look dynamite, they would look like a pair of 95s, right? But see, after a week or two, oh, the bubble would burst and people would start landing about, right? They'd look like, get a limb, and they'd be chasing you down, like, what the fuck, I want my money back! So you'd sell them at Christmas and have to stay in for New Year, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you ain't get out because everybody was in a bad mood with you. So I used to do all that, and then of course I've touched on the businesses we had later as well. So we've done everything, we sold cars, everything. So I've always been entrepreneurial. But now with my son, as a father, I think your job is first to sort of provide safety, right? Like a safe environment for your kid, house, free meals, stuff like that, right? And that's the basics, right? As a father that you should be providing. But then after that, now I've provided that now. So now I want to provide more, and what I want to do now is provide them like privileges, sort of, right? Like where if I make good money off this, and the money's the tool, do you know what I mean? Give me the freedom, then I can spend more time with them, and I can also offer them stuff that I wouldn't be able to if I was doing a normal 9 to 5. Like I might be able to say, you want to go to private school? You might not want to, but at least I'll be in a position to say you want to go to private school, right? We can do that for you. Do you know what I mean? You want to do the go-karting, right? We can buy you a go-kart, and do you know what I mean? Like I can offer them the privileges, a holiday every year or something like that. Do you know that? And that's what
I see, like obviously in your story now, you're always taking them out the weekends, and even with so much on, you make that time for them, and that's so important, because a lot of guys, you know, they get busy and they don't give the kids that time. So I think how important is that to you, spending that time with for you and for him?
It's so important. Like I've got a tattoo on my leg, you know, the guy, like, he's my world, like, honestly, like, see his wee smile, but I'll go and I work like a slave, right? I do taxis now so I can do the property during the day and that, right? And I work like a slave, I'm doing like 70 hours on that, right? And then when I've got him like maybe 3 nights a week or something. When I've got him, we'll get up like normally 9, 10, we'll go out, do a thing, and then see like I'll put him in bed at like 8, my mum will watch him, and I'm back out doing the taxis, right? And I'm knackered, you end up like 4 or 5 hours sleep, you're absolutely shattered. And your back's broke, stuff, be doing the property, you're like totally tired and drained. But see when I take him out, like, what did we do last week? I think we went to Trampoline World, soon he goes in, he sees all the trampolines, and he gives you this wee smile, and like everything, it's just worth it. You see that smile, you're like, yes, you know what I mean? You feel like a success, you're like, I made it, you know what I mean? So it's just, he's worth everything, do you know what I mean?
It's like little things like that, isn't it? I seen that, man. What was that thing that you were sitting on the...
Oh, the wee bumper! So I had to come up to the aquarium, I was raging, I ended up nearly arguing with a woman, and I'm not like that, do you know what I mean? But I was raging because he looked a wee bit upset. To come up to the aquarium in Loch Lomond, and it's all online booking. And he was upset he didn't get to see the fish. And I was like, oh, right, okay. So we came up the next day, got up early, we came up, walked around the Loch Lomond shores, and then went up and went in the wee rides, and there was that way, I'm going to get him one for Christmas, so you sit in them, and he's fearless, right, apart from going down shoots and stuff, anything apart from that, he's fearless, and he's jumping it, and you move it, and it bumps into everything, and it's rubber. I've been trying to find one, I've got to get him for Christmas.
Where can you use it then, and can you use it in the garden then?
Yeah, you can use it in the garden, it's just got like wee wheels in the bottom, but the rubber's just so when you bounce into stuff, you know what I mean, you on yourself. Oh, it was amazing, so see doing stuff like that, that's worth more than anything, do you know what I mean? But that's where property comes into it. Property's offering me that freedom to do things like that, do you know what I mean? Where I might, see if I was to go out and work a normal job, right, my days rotates with Jason, because I also want to be involved in school life, so sometimes I've got my Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? If I was working a normal 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday I wouldn't really be able to do much with him, right? Because you're back in, you're getting dinner at bedtime, right? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday you would, but because my days rotate, some days I wouldn't be able to. But property's got to give me that where I can maybe push it a couple of days and say, right, I'll book that in then, this is the days for my kids. So it's not the money, it's the freedom that it offers you.
Because the money's like almost that like factor, like everyone needs it like to do stuff. It's always that like means to an end, and like you're always trying to like get to the point where you can satisfy that, so like find a solution to that problem so that it just doesn't become like, oh, I'm watching my money, or like I'm watching what I'm doing.
It's a tool, that's all it is, it's just a tool, do you know? But people, I look at people and it's as if like
they worship.
It's worship. And I'm like, are you crazy? That's a tool to live a good life.
They'll spend $1,000 on whatever they're wearing, do you know what I mean? And have a $5 in their wallet.
Remember what we said in the live at the weekend, and you were talking about we're obviously talking about like, you were like, oh, I was almost going to get my grad job and go and buy an XP, and it's like, you were like,
I see everyone else doing it, and I see all my pals, everyone else is doing that, and then, but, you know, at this moment in time, they're living, you know, a lot of them are living at home, and they're making good money, and they've not really factored in that if they had like expensive, if they had you know, the children, or if they had a mortgage to pay, they wouldn't be able to drive that car.
They're living on a nice edge.
And then so when they have to go and pay a mortgage and all that, right, then they're going to have to take that nice lovely car and they're going to have to downgrade, aren't they, eventually, unless they do something extra. So I'd rather do that extra now and try and build something now, so I'm in a better position.
And 9 times out of 10 is finance. You know, it's like they don't own the car. Like once the finance deal's done, it's like you can own this car for another 2-3 grand.
You know what's mental? It's like 9% you're paying finance on it, right? And what kind of rates are you getting for, you know, for your finance, for property?
For finance, so this deal is all cash, right? Because I was just, it's my first big of it. I've done property, I've learnt, but there's stuff in the books that on the site can't teach you, right? So I want to do it all cash. But when I did go to look into bridges, it was like, I think 0.85% per month. Don't get it wrong. And bridging's big, do you know what I mean? Big interest rates. That's why people try and stay away from it. So 0.85, what's a normal mortgage? I think like for a business, you're probably 3%.
So if I buy to like 3% and then looks if you're paying 9% on
a car.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It's a myth. You should be used like. There's a quote, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. Now, see if you've got a little pot, if you've got a massive pot, go and do what you want, mate. Go and buy the nice car. If you can afford it, right? See if you've got that money in the bank when it's not going to affect what you're doing, go buy it. That's life, that's the money's for. But if you've only got a little pot and you're just starting out, put it into something and let it grow. 100%. So in years to come, you've got it to do without thinking about it.
While you've got the money, you know what I mean? Because you know, further on the line, you might have other expenses, as I've said there. While you've got it good, you know, it's the best to invest.
Your circumstances change as well. You know what I mean? Families, kids, everything changes, and you might be comfortable in your job now, and you might not want to move. And there's nothing wrong with There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but like you just might not want to move now. Do you know what I mean? You could have done it years ago and had maybe a better life. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Exactly, but I mean, like, so I'm saying all this, but see if you see me for cutting down the road with my because honestly, because it's one of those things though, it's like, I know you don't really care about these kind of things, I don't really care about looking the part, for me it's more about, I just like, more sport, I like cars, I like, because being in engineering, I like going fast, right, I like going, like, not speeding, just that acceleration, that buzz, and
doing 41
I
out of 40.
I want it so badly, right, but then I had to have that patience to say, no, it's not the right thing, because you get that wee voice in your head saying, no, don't do it, don't do it, so property, so you've said that, right, it's for the freedom, right, but what else do you love about property? Is it the actual bricks and mortar, the construction, what else do you makes it?
So I've been thinking of this, right, and I've given it good thought, because I don't know where the passion comes from for this, right, because like sometimes I think, like, I'm very impulsive, right, like I'll sit and watch Suits, see the programme, I'm a lawyer, I'm so impulsive.
This is why we've been so close, because we're the same kind of personality.
I'll just, and like, I'll get good at something, right, I'm like, with mechanical engineering, I got good at it, graduated, I don't want to do it. As soon as I get good at something, I don't want to do it. I always want to go in and learn something else. But see, with property, it's like I'm just not getting that. There's so much. There's so much. I'm like, I'm just constantly absorbed in it. It's amazing.
So see when you say you obviously at uni, was it mechanical engineering you done? Or was it I thought it was petrochemical.
So I was doing petroleum, but then I switched into mechanical. It was good, but it's not what I want to do, and I learned that in this when you're in, and like. Property as well, that's the thing, right? If you make a mistake, it's your mistake, right? You're paying for it, and I nearly made one the other day, the architect thing, he's trying to bill us 10 grand for like this certain certificate to make the properties mortgageable, and I'm like, I need to pay this. But then I just took a step back and like, give me a second, and I phoned a few people, came back and get it for £1,500, right? But if I bought that and paid him the money, that's my mistake, I need to live with that, right? But I feel like in a 95, you've got somebody breathing down your throat and telling you what to do, and then you get into trouble and stuff. I'm not for that, you know what I mean?
You also get that security as well, that if you do make a mistake, it's not your arse, is it? They're gonna, you might get a bit of a talk.
You get a couple in the year. Like, mostly, like, sometimes it's like if you make a mistake, it's like,
there's so many rules now, they can't sack you, there's so many rules.
I know definitely your personality is that you don't like to be told what to do, and I'm a bit like that as well, but for me I know that it's temporary, but is that something as well that kind of makes you not want to do a 9 to 5? Is it being told?
No, I can get told what to do, right? The problem is if I'm doing the job, right, and I'm working hard, right, and somebody's still moaning at me, I'm like, are you kidding on? I'm not an octopus here, I've got 2 hands, give me a break, do you know what I mean? Like, but seeing property, like, I feel like I've worked so much harder as well, because it's for me, do you know what I mean? It's for me, not me, but it's for my kid, what he's going to inherit, do you know what I mean? And you're passing that on, so like, I see the value in what I'm creating, where I feel like if you're doing a 9 to 5, you work hard, right? But really,
you're selling your time for
you're selling your time.
100%.
You're not going to work as hard.
No, not at all. But I think that's where, like, see where managers come in, good management. Because, like you say, so if people are doing their job well, they're doing the working as hard as they can, you're still being down the neck and giving them a hard time. That's what drives people to leave their jobs. But so we've talked about that, why your property and all that, and I think we've kind of covered this already. But like the next question was like, what's your why? What is your purpose? And just like for me, it's like the reason I'm starting property and what I want to do, because eventually I want to get into like kind of what you're doing, land development, building houses, or even just refurbing, doing like big buildings, doing bigger deals, so that I can provide affordable housing for people. Really, that's kind of what I want to do. Also, I want to provide jobs for my family, get other people, help other people. Yes. So, is it the same for you? Or what's
my why? Is definitely my kid, right? My kid and my mum, right? My mum is an angel, hands down, right? And I'd love to give her that opportunity, but she doesn't have to work, right? Like, my mum will go and break her back for me, right? Like, all the time. Since I've been born, she'll break her back just to provide me what I need and extras, right? So I'd love to sort of pay that back, that love, and say, listen, your boy's a success, do you know what I mean? Like, sit in the house, there's the car, go and do what you want, do you know what I mean? Live your life now. And then like, obviously, with my kid, the why is like I want to sort of develop him into a great man. Do you know what I mean? Like respectable. Do you know stuff like that, and like just afford him the comforts of life, right? I know it's not a necessity, but I'd love to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And charities also my other way. I've not really spoken about this much to anybody because I'm not there yet, right? I'm trying to keep it into myself, but just because we're doing this, I tell you, like I feel like. See, like when I give back to somebody, it's better than spending the money. See, like if I get down on like a pal, like I had a pal once, right, son's birthday, didn't have hundreds of money to buy him the birthday present, right? I was like, this £200, go and get him a pair of shoes, whatever, right?
Not a pair of 95.
Yeah, anyway, but I felt like I was on a cloud. Do you know what I mean? See, giving back, you feel so much. You're actually doing it for yourself as well because you feel amazing.
Because I think that when I buy something for myself, you feel a bit guilty as well, don't you? Like, oh mate, I've just spent like that. Even though you like the thing, but
it's like a quick fix. It's like a quick fix.
In the last 5 minutes, you know, I get an Audi A4 once, and I always wanted an Audi. Get A4 right, blue, quattro hang, look dynamite, right? Jump in it. And I was like, woo! Like, see 10 minutes after playing with the gadgets and stuff.
Is that it? That only took 10
minutes?
Not
10 minutes, maybe like
3 days for
I think like a week or two, right? A week or two. I finished with the gadgets and I'm like, I don't even like, it's just a car. Do you get me A to B? Do it sell it? It was costing me do you know what I mean? The money on it was costing me. Like, sell it, I'll just get a normal car. Do you know? It's a quick fix. It's the chase that I like better. See the chase, I try to get it, making something out of nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's amazing.
100%. I also think as well with like the obviously they're talking about the aspect of like sort of giving back. Like see when I've done swimming teaching through uni and stuff, like just to subsidise, like just as a job, it means a lot. And I spoke to one of the teachers that was like, he was one of the older lot, and I was like, do you know the best thing about teaching is when you like teach someone something, like, and they get the concept and so they can get the technique, and you're like, I've done something for them. You know what I mean? That's amazing. It's good. It's good.
It's really feeling like what you're saying about with the kids, the school kids, you'll get them in, feed them, but making sure they're doing the homework as well. I think that's a great idea. I've kind of got like what my plan is to kind of do, like, you know, there's a lot of people that teach property and they charge a lot of money for it, right? Whereas I think I'd rather do it with smaller numbers, right? Just bringing like maybe even 1 or 2 people to start with. Like, you know, this is further on down the line without uniting them, you know, kind of helping them. You know, if they've got like someone like you, if there's really got a passion, is that something that you like mentoring people as well? Would you like to do that?
I've never even thought of it, right? And probably not. No. Right? Probably not. Like, I love property, right? I want to sort of focus on that, building affordable houses, right? See if I'm charging somebody to sort of like learn from me, right?
No,
yeah, they'll
for free. I mean for free.
Oh, for free? Yeah, definitely. See if I could bring in, see like if I'd done that thing with the charity, right? I've got 15 kids. I already spoke about this, saying to my brother, and I was like, see if we can catch like one. So like, see if we get 3 charities, right? One in Pollock, one in Ardennes, one, do you know what I mean? One somewhere else, Paisley or something. See if we can catch just one kid. See he's got something special on him. Do you know what I mean? Like now you just see that.
You can see it.
It's noticeable a mile away. I see so many kids, and you're like, they got to be something. They got to be something.
They just need a bit of support as well to get them on that.
Just a sponge. They're like a sponge. You see them sitting watching and sort of learning everything. See if you can grab one of their kids and say, listen, you interested in property? Jump on, no money, come and work, and like, we'll get you there. Do you know? A million% I'd do something like that. But
it's always the hardest worker in the room as well. They just like know they're like, oh, like they're not gonna just piss off. You know, they're wanting to learn. You know.
And I think that goes like to that saying they say that is you give a man a fish, you eat for a day. But if you teach a man a fish, you eat for a lifetime. And that's it there as well. You know, that's a kind of form of charity where you're helping people by doing that. So. See, like when we went to the networking event and stuff, right? Great for networking. But that's the reason I probably wouldn't want to teach property. It's because there was like 200 people in that room. Many gang have actually took the initiative to go and do it. So few of them.
One or two.
People that do the course that's like 3-4 grand, and that course, half of them don't even go for it. They're there thinking that they're going to take a magic pill and they're going to turn into a million. Which is just not the case, is it?
No, it's hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. work, and it's like, but obviously, like for me, I'm planning to do the education, right, and pay, you know, it's a few quid, right. But for me, it's like I've already started now, and I'm kind of sometimes hitting like roadblocks in this time where I think, you know, I can handle that situation better. So for me, it is again, it's about building that network of people who are good, the ones that are good, the ones that actually stick at it, and kind of, you know, work with them. And so if I've got something that I'm just kind of struggling with, it's like, here, like, how would you deal with that?
You're doing it, but right, so like somebody good, that's great, but I feel like if I was to do like in years to come, because there's so much to learn, right, years, if I was to try and sit and teach people, I'd get annoyed, right, because it's like, you give me the money, fair dues, right, but it's not about the money. I'm here to teach you so you can go on and use it, and if you've got to sit here and waste my time and not use it, then I don't want to do it.
You know, reputation, because like, you look how many people just talk. You know the way like some educated people talk a lot. And shite about them is because that they don't do the work. Like so the show's called Mental Wealth, right? So see, when I say mental wealth, what comes into your head? Just if you know, if you're hearing it for the first time.
Sort of your mindset, your mentality, and that's what it is. Like for like what we're doing, right? You, me, right? We're all going out and trying to build something off of nothing. Right? It's a small bit of insanity trying to do it, right? When you can go out and get a normal job, right, and make a comfortable living. It's crazy, right? You're like, why would you go out and like, not embarrass yourself, but you're putting yourself out there for criticism and stuff like that, right? So you've got to have a thick skin, and do you know what I mean? With that mentality, you've got to be open to rejection 24/7, and just block out people, and like, I don't care what they say, fling that to the side, I'm on my own road here, do you know what I mean? I've got maybe 2 or 3 people I talk to now, right? You're one of them, obviously I talk to you now, but I've got 2 or 3 people I'm on the phone with consistently. But their mentality is just the same as me, do you know what I mean? Even they'll tell me what I'm doing wrong, but they won't sit and talk, do you know what I mean? So I feel like you've got to have a mentality for the rejection that's got to come the way, and sort of the thick skin for people talking, but you just got to blank it out. And also, like last week I actually fell to it, do you know what I mean? Mind I phoned you up and I was like, he's doing this deal, I wish I was doing it and stuff.
That's right, you're comparing yourself.
Yeah, you're comparing yourself, and like, I think I've got a good sort of head on me. I fell for it, and like for like 4 days I was sitting, not depressed, but I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? Why am I not moving as fast as this guy, that guy, and this guy? And social media adds to that.
Everyone looks good on social media. Really. See, if he knew what you were doing, I'm sure they'd be the same. They'd be like, how's he done this? That's his first deal. Man, honestly, this first deal you've got is like unheard. I've not seen anyone get such a belter of a deal on their first go. So again, like, it's just tunnel vision and just focusing on yourself. I get it all the time. I get that wee voice where it's like, oh wait, how's he doing that? How's he done that? But then I go back to I think no, it's just I need to keep.
You can't focus on what somebody else. Focus on what you're doing, and like. They maybe actually found out he's been doing it for years, right? Years. That's what he's gonna do. Like absolute years. I'm just starting out, and I'm sort of comparing myself to him. I'll be on his road. I know myself. I'll be where he is, if not further, in years to come. So you just need to stop looking and get off social media.
The blinkers on horses is so that they don't look beside them and
see social media for your mentality, to your mental health. It's a drain, sort of, because it's all false. It's all.
I seen a meme the other day, and it was like someone had just put this on like their story, and it was like, I'm doing more shit that stops me from looking at my phone. Like, I was like, mate, like, see, even if like tomorrow, like I'm climbing a hill, I'm not looking at my phone when I'm climbing a hill. Like, it's just doing stuff like to keep yourself active, because I mean, like, for so long, like, people are probably just in lockdown. You've been limited to stuff. You're just sitting in your phone all the time, and like when you're isolating as well, like I've
isolation. I've just came out of a bar as well. I got hit with isolation as well, mate. It's brutal, and I fell into the same habits. It's like rather than when I'd go out and exercise or go and do other things, I'm just sitting looking at my phone and watching other people thinking, how's he doing that? How's he doing that?
But see, I buy into it, right? I'm not gonna lie. I buy into it. I go for a meal, I'm like, take a picture of the meal. Get a Rolex on that, and with a coffee cup out there, I do it, do you know what I mean? Because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's how you keep up with the Joneses and try to compare yourself. You're doing it, I'm doing it, do you know what I mean? But it shouldn't be that way. Do you know? And so I take yourself away from it. See, all the people I actually know, right, are like, do it on social media and kid on, they're doing this and they're doing that, right? See, the ones I actually know as friends. You ain't doing it. You're body eating deck, mate. You know what I mean? You're kidding. You're living a lie. Do you know what I mean?
But mate, that's
it's
a
myth.
I always knew, like, even like being around you in school and that, I just knowing you, mate, I was like, knew you were just like solid and just not about it, just doing your own thing. Because I mind Jason, because like I mind like when you were doing like, I seen like when you were left school, you were like doing the car thing and that, like used cars and like selling them on and stuff. Like mate, like to be honest, I sometimes see myself in that. Like see if I see an opportunity to like make money, like almost in it, like with these shoes actually. Like see like, you know, like Adidas Ultra Boosts. So like in Gretna, they were selling them for 70 quid, like a pair of Ultra Boosts. So I was like, alright, okay. Like they usually retail for like 100 quid. And I was with my friend, family friend, that was a student. So I got them for 63 quid. I was like, and I bought them, and after I was like, why didn't I buy like 10 of them and put them for like 80 quid a head up here? I'd have got these for free and made a profit. But there was another time, I'll never forget.
Close, mate. What time?
Heading down and out. But I remember another time we come back from Dubai, and you always got fags really cheap in Dubai for the duty free, and it's non-tax and stuff. So like a couple of my pals, like on a night out and stuff, they'd like, buy a deck of menthol snout. So I'm sitting there with my dad's like, how much would this cost for a sleeve? And it's like, what, equivalent of 12 quid for 10 packs of 20 snout. And my dad's like, I don't know if I could buy these, right? And I messaged Ross McComish at the time, and I'm like, mate, should I buy these and flog these on? He's like, mate, do it. He's like, mate, do it. Like, come next time we're out, bring like 3-4 decks with you, you'll sell them all. Like, and I was like, how much should I pitch these for? Like 7 quid, and then like I knew the retail back home with like offies and stuff like that for like 8-9 quid. So I was like, I could maybe do like 6-7 quid, and I was like, you know what, I'll be a £5 a pack. So like I think I made like from the 12 quid I spent, I made 38 quid back off of that. So it was like, and it's just stuff like that, just small things that you find yourself like, there's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity.
You know,
Maybe I done it with you. I see the fags that you're talking about. I made a phone to add them up. Mine. Was
it the red Polish ones?
No. It was when I was going to go over to Spain and try and grab them. And I was like, I think I can bring them back. Your dad was saying, I didn't do it right. I didn't break the law.
You're not condoning.
Yeah. This is when I was much younger and I was just trying to like. You know, you're trying to do anything you can, do you know what I mean? Within means.
As I was thinking about it, I was like, hold on, mate, how much can you get them for? But then when you have to look at it and say, right, okay, can you actually...
It's the juice. Yeah, it's the juice worth the squeeze.
As you get stock for them, you get done with counterfeit.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So basically, like, everything I've done has been well above board, right? Like cars, whiskey, everything, right? But this one idea I had with the fags, like, it bounced off me, and like I'm sitting and I mind it right, and this is when I was like, oh my pals must think I just want to do it, do you know what I mean? Like, so we're all sitting in the garden, and this was like my close pals were away, and I was talking about it, and this guy put up with a van, right? And then I was just sitting talking about him, you get a van, that's pretty good, isn't it? And I'm trying to plant the seed in his head, right? And I'm like, I was talking to somebody, I don't know much about it, but like, you should go to Spain and load that up, and I was like, I know a guy over there and can grab it. You know what I mean? I'm just planting the seed, because I don't want to ask him to do it, right? Because if I ask him, he'll flat out say no, but if he thinks it's his idea, and he says to me, I'm going caught, do you know what I
mean? I'll never forget, mate, I remember there was one boy that I was away out to, I think it was Germany, I think it was. And I done Interrail in 1 year. This was when I left school, and it was with Nick and Gregor Donaldson, Nick Clark and Gregor Donaldson. And I flew back from my grandma's funeral and flew back out to see them again. And I remember being in the airport, Glasgow airport, on the way back out. And this guy rocked something like, it was the year the Hummel done the first Rangers jerseys, and it was the third kit, the third kit was orange. And I was speaking to him, I was like, mate, you got that new third kit? And he's like, mate, I've got a suitcase full of them, mate. He's like, take my number. I've just been back to Turkey. This is my third trip, 20 quid a top. And I was like, oh mate, this is mental.
Turkey just printed them before they made the new ones.
Mate, that's the thing. I never knew that the kit. I was like, is the kit out yet? And he's like, no mate, Turkey have printed them before the kits came out.
Right, it's like you try it. You know what I mean? So within means do it the correct way. A million percent do it the correct way.
50 pence a
pop. I mean, I've tried everything within means. When I was younger, I'd done the fags.
And then you learn, don't you? You learn, like, okay, this
you sell them for £1, won't you? You buy a packet for £5.
But then you work, then you've got hundreds of people hounding you, like, oh, here, can I get one that tap you, one that tick you? But
that was what I'm saying, like, my pals, I'm saying this to this guy, and I'm trying to like entice him in. all my pals like, I didn't even tell them my idea, but they must know the way I think now.
Yeah.
They know what way I think, and like, one of them turned around and laughed and was like, mate, you open your mouth to him, he's got you in a van out, he wants to go, right? And I just burst into laughter. I'm like, forget about the idea, forget it was a bad idea.
Just touch on, you said something there, like, if you plant the seed in his head, and like, that's an amazing thing that I've learned as well with sales, is that people don't like being sold to, they don't like being told, they like being like souped into something, they'd rather like, you put, you know, when you put the seed in the head,
it's their idea.
They want to think it's their idea.
See if somebody, it sounds like but it's not manipulation, right? Because see if you're actually going to benefit someone, but they're maybe just too scared to take the step, right? You're just pushing them towards taking that, encouraging to take that step, right? So like, if you do, like, in sales, like, if I'm ever trying to deal with somebody, I'll be very transparent. Look, I've always been transparent when I've showed you stuff, haven't I? Like, I'll say this is that, right? It's up to you to make your decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, I believe in being, because if it does go wrong, you can't really, I'm not to blame, I've told you what it is, there's risks involved in everything, right? But when you're selling someone something, don't just flat out ask them, you want to do this, right? Because a lot of people are too scared to take that job. You'll find one or two that aren't scared, right? They've got the same mentality as us, but a lot don't, so they're too scared. So you've got to sort of, like when I'm speaking to an investor recently, right, like a friend. Now I knew he wanted to invest, right, but he just wasn't keen on it. And I just sat and told him about property. I didn't even ask him. I did not ask him to invest, right. I was just telling him about the property. I was telling him how like we've got like sort of links into insolvency practitioners. So we're getting deals like we just hopefully the offer went through. So if he gets accepted, it was our buyer that bought it. So we're getting deals through all the time. And like great deals, do you know what I mean? Well below market value, and you're getting sort of like the off market, do you know what I mean? So it's like a golden egg, do you know what I mean? Like you're not having everybody competing for it.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're getting all that in, and all I done was I told him, I said, listen, look, that's the deal. I just sold there. This is the deal I've got now that I'm working on, and I'm doing this. But I'm not asking him to invest. I'm just showing him. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the numbers. He's doing this. He's doing that, and just informing him. He ended up getting £20,000 in he showed us the balance and that. He's like, listen, I'll invest 20. I've been showed a statement. On the next deal, I'm going to put his money in, right? 20,000. I didn't once ask him for a penny, right? I just told him what I'm doing and what the numbers were, and was very transparent with him. He then thought, do you know, to himself, this is a good idea. Do you know what? All he needed was that little push to be shown the roadmap. Do you know what I mean? Like to be shown an actual. A dream without like sort of targets is just a dream. Do you know what I mean? See if you can show how you're getting there.
Progression. To the final result. And,
then you give him that push where he thinks this can work. See, as soon as he thinks for himself it can work. You've already sold him. You know, he's buying into you. Do you know what I mean?
On it and then phone you tomorrow or something.
Well, it took like a week or something. I think when they came back to us and they phoned us up. He's like, "This is what you were talking about." I was like, do you know what I mean? And then he was like, "Listen, what would you take minimum?" And I was like, 10,000, mate, it is minimum because I've already got people what invest and stuff. He's like, cool, well I'll put 20 in, and if it goes good, he's like, I've got more money to put in. And I'm like, cool, we can put 20 in. But it's things for our company, like, I'm not wondering if a risk is going to come. I know it's coming, you know, I know there's something down the road that's a roadblock. The sort of job is to mitigate that, do you know what I mean?
So that's almost like a
great network.
Risk assessment almost, because I done like a course in project management, and that's something that they always go in, like, you should go into something thinking there's a potential for risk and what the sort of solution is round that risk sort of thing. And then there's other things that are risks which you don't think about, and then they just like happen and it's like an issue and you're like, oh fuck, I need to deal with that now, you know, so it's all about mitigating risk. That is your only job. See, as long as you keep that guy's money safe, guy, women, like for me it's a guy, all my investors are in there right now, is to keep their money safe, right? Obviously give them their 8 to 12% alpha, right? Depending on if it's a normal buy to let, right, less risk, you get 9%. If it's a commercial,
so it doesn't really vary with how much money they put in.
The risk, it's about the deal. See, and I'm open about it. I'll say maybe this is a wee bit more risky, this deal, but you get higher. You get higher return, right? But my job is to keep their money safe. That's my job. Do you know what I mean? That's why they're not doing it themselves, because I've got a great, So when I was doing the buy-to-lets, went to the Paul McFadden course for you, like network there, like I just try and network, and I've now built up where I feel confident in my ability, but also in other people's abilities, because I've got a great network. Like, as I said the other day with Architect, I just had to phone a couple of people. One of them was like, let me get back to you in a minute, right? Phones up like half an hour later. He's like, Jason, I've got it for £1,500. He's like, you just have to, he told us what I have to do, minute meetings with the joiners, this, that and this, and we can get them signed off £1,500. And I'm like, that's what I need.
To get charged
10,000.
Another 9.5 grand, so that Architect.
8.5.
We know
8.5. But that's what it's all about. It's about networking and finding. He was a great architect. He was great. He done all the drawings and stuff. Absolutely great. No, do you know what I mean? That's just his price. But having that network there gives you the support to mitigate the risk. Do you know what I mean? See it coming. Do you know what I mean? It's also about the way you think it and you go and analyse it and stuff.
Definitely no, it is, because like the network, like you said there, it's just about building. Like, see the way you sourced this deal was actually through. It wasn't through sending letters out to people, wasn't through Facebook advertising, it was just networking and using your own existing network and just asking people and telling people what you do. And that's something I'm trying to work on more now, is that you can be a bit shy about it sometimes, like, I don't want to go and tell everyone what I'm doing, but it's just like you have to go and tell everyone what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Just I'll tell you, even if you don't want to listen to me, walk away. I'm telling everybody, right? I'm into this podcast, so I can sit there and people know what I'm doing, because 99 people will watch it. I'm like, shut up. Right? But there'll be one that'll watch it and go, and let me give him a message. Do you know what I mean?
Like, they've learned something from the actual show.
You know, Grant Cardone, right? Everyone talks a lot of shit about him and says that he's like, oh, this and that. But one thing, he says a lot of good stuff though. And one of the things he says is money follows attention. So once you've got the attention, you know, and it is true. If you look at these people on TikTok, they're getting the attention, so they're getting sponsorship, they're getting the rest. But Blair, hit with the last question.
The last question, right? So I posted this on my Instagram a few weeks ago. It's Valentini's a giveaway. Right, so 2 scoop tub combo, right? 2 scoops from this list. What are you going for?
I know what I always go for. I go all the time. It's always the coconut. Always the coconut.
Coconut.
Don't touch anything else. It's coconut.
Double coconut.
Yeah, double coconut.
I'm fucking up.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
But cut it off.
Just before we moved on from the mental wealth, I know we sort of get carried away on that one, but like the mental wealth as well is, I think, like, people have got to sort of rate what they call success. Do you know? I think that was a great thing for me. Like, I know what successful is in my mind, because if you've not got that right, you just got to keep chasing and chasing and chasing. Work at a goal in your head, and that's you're successful, right? Well, like, my goal is to not be stinky rich, to have a nice house, right? TV in it, and I've got the kid sitting at the couch. That's like my image in my head, you know, a wee holiday and stuff. That's success to me, and not having to work all the hours under the sun, right? And other people's success might be like, you know, hundreds of thousands of pounds, right? But other people's success on the other ladder is maybe, like my dad, right? He's not rich by any means of the term, right? But he's probably the most successful man I know, because he knew what he wanted. He wanted to bring up 2 kids who were well educated, well mannered, and well headed, right? He's done that in abundance. Like, my brother's now moved down to London. He's got a great job down there.
Definitely. It seems like the way you enjoy speaking, conduct yourselves like out in public with people. I've noticed is something that most is like so polite with people. And, if someone's looking for something, just that's definitely something that.
So he's beyond successful. Like, he's the happiest guy I know. Might not be the richest, but he's definitely. So he's successful. And my success is in different.
It's a happiness, isn't it?
It's like almost that way. Like, going back to social media and stuff. It's like success should be for you is living within your means and what you deem that to be. But then there's also that like flip side of it and everything, because of social media and that these days. Not even that, like even probably before, if you've seen someone rock up in a nice car, it's like, oh, that guy's a guy, like that's a nice car and stuff like that. So it's almost like that. You've always got that way of like sort of wanting to sort of push yourself to get it. But what I'm saying is, work out what success is in your head. And when you get there, you don't need to stop, right? But realise you're now what you wanted to be. Because I heard somewhere, somebody was talking, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, that's a great sort of line, right? The guy was talking, and he was saying, like, when he dies, he thinks, like, if you go to heaven, right, God might, flick on the TV and say, this is the way your life
could have worked out right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought about it, and I'm like,
that's like crazy. That imagine that you don't reach your potential.
Yeah.
You were meant to do.
So, and then you're dead, and then you find out what the potential was you could have reached. That would be so mad.
That's mad to think about, because like, but before I heard that, I was like, oh, hands of money, the nice cars, and then see when I heard the question, I was like, I'll sit up at night and I overthink things, right? I'll sit up at night and go back, and I sat and thought about it, and I'm like, if that did happen to me and I died and the TV get put on, what would success be to me? And that's exactly the image that came into my head, sitting in the living room with my kid, watching the TV, do you know what I mean, having a laugh and having like family type, that's success to me. So if I get there, I don't need to try and like work all the hours on do something to build something bigger and better, do you know what I mean? That is success to me, that's when I'm going to be happiest.
The ideal scenario is you get there and they flip on the TV and it's just your life, just like, I know what happens next.
But it's great to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a happiness you say that. I know there's guys that are just tradesmen, like joiners or whatever it is, right, and they get paid decent money and they're just the happiest guys in the world. They just love cutting wood and they love, you know, they just love their trade or whatever they do.
But they're a success.
That's successful as well, so it's different in everyone's eyes.
I definitely think that as well. Like, even there was a boy that was one of the graduates, he's sort of like, he moved to a different department in my work, right? But I always used to speak to him, like lunchtimes I used to go over and sit with him. I was like, happening Barry, and he was like 30, right? So he was like an older graduate. I was like, what did you do before you done this? Because like, you're a graduate, man. Like, graduates are like my age, early 20s. And he's like, oh mate, I was a roofer. And I was like, mate, like, really? And he was like, yeah, but like, done that for like 3-4 years and then just wrapped it, went to uni and just like got my degree in mech engine and became a mechanical engineer.
Champion.
But I was like, aye, but like, I bet you doing your trade, you'd probably be on, if you stuck with it and done your own business, you'd be on more than what you're on now, being a graduate. He's like, aye, one of my pals is like making like 50, like 60k, like just his own business, doing his own thing. I was like, mate, that's it. Like, but he's like, mate, it's just something I didn't want to continue doing. It was just like a job I did to fulfill time.
That's great for him, do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. It's what success is in your head. Don't let anybody tell you differently. You want to do something, go out and do it. You know what I mean? See if you fail. Everybody fails in life, right? Pick yourself back up, you're learning the experience, do you know what I mean? Pick yourself back up, you're not failed. You've not failed. Like, you only fail when you stop. See if you keep going. I've had businesses that haven't worked. I've not failed because I picked up and I keep going.
It's like a winning and learning mentality, not a winning and losing mentality.
I think it's amazing the amount of businesses that you've went into and you've and then that have not worked out, or you stop doing them. I've done that as well, mate. I've tried drop shipping. I used to do valeting as well, like mobile valeting, and it was the same for me. I didn't have the passion for it, so when it gets hard or when you're struggling for business, you pack it in. But like now in property, I've not had amazing success at all, but I've built amazing relationship and I love it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm happy. I feel happy.
Adam's got to go far in it, but so yeah, he's got to go. No, Adam. Like, see when I sit and watch it, and like sometimes I'm like, man, this guy goes hard at it. So he goes hard at it. He makes everybody. Adam's going there, so yes.
I mean, again, for me, it's like it's about you know, I don't even think about the money as much. What's in it is, yes, you want to have that comfort, security, make sure everyone's alright. No one wants for anything in your family or anything. But again, it's all about giving jobs to other people, because like having a big extended family is like, see if I've seen people lose their job and their life changes completely, and I want to be able to have like a safety net for them. If they lose their job, come with me. You can come and work with me.
Somebody actually great explained it to me. Right, this guy, like, I say he's got gypsy blood, right? Like traveller blood, whatever. Right? Because I kid you not, this guy can like sort of tell you what's going to happen, right? You know how he does it, right? But like, he explained it to me, right? And like, see what you're saying about giving back, right? He explained it like a hole, right, and a ladder. See if you get up, always helps. Because he helps somebody, and I can understand it. Like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? He's like, it's like being in a hole and a ladder. See if I get up at the hole, he's always pass the ladder back down and help the next person up. He says, because if you fall back down, you've helped so many people. Somebody's got to pass the ladder back down, saying your turn, you know what I mean? So it comes back full, so you give out, you get back what you give out, you know what I mean?
That happens a lot though, because it's happened, even my dad's like, and other people in my family have been doing well, and something happens, they take their eye off the ball, whatever happens, they get complacent and they fall. They come back down, and then it's those people that you helped when you were up there that are the ones that help build you back up. And And I think maybe that's why they say that, you know, successful business people, if you took away all their money, they rebuild it, because of the relationship as well, and because of the mental toughness and all the rest of it. Actually, I was watching, I don't know if you've seen this, Undercover Billionaire. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like, so there's a guy, there's one guy who started it. He basically said he's worth about $2 billion. He said, I'm going to do a challenge. I want to get rid of all my money. I'm going to go and move to a town, right? And I've got 90 days to build $1 million business, right? And it's something like wee town, and he said he's not allowed to use his name, he's not allowed to use any of his contacts. All we get was a truck and $100, and he done it, mate. He got it, and Grant Cardone was on it, and he made $5.5 million.
I seen him on Instagram talking about doing that.
I was like, what is that? What is that? He shaved his head and all that. And like, see, for the first like 60, and you know, one massive thing I learned from that, right, is even Grant Cardone, when he's on the phone to people, right, not as himself, right, it doesn't matter how good he is at selling, he's still getting rejected 100 times a day. So so that gave me a lot of confidence, because I take a lot of knockbacks. I take a lot, and I'm thinking, oh shit, maybe it's, you know. But then when you see that, you're like, even him with all that skill and experience, even he takes the nose, but it's just he keeps going. He's got that fire, and he knows he can do it. So that's all it is.
We've got to be punch drunk by the end of this. You know, making much not getting rejection all the time. But
like Rocky, mate, beating the meat in the
but yeah, give us a follow on Instagram.
Grace Holmes, and there's also Jason Gray. We'll put his link in the description.